How are you so strong? Are you really just a martial king? Do you really think we're just mud figures? Sky-piercing cannon. These two brats are too fierce. I hope the other two can quickly finish the job on their side and come help us. I'm afraid we'll have to disappoint you. What the hell is the information gathering department doing? Didn't they say that the strongest disciples were only in the martial king realm? Why don't we retreat for now? Retreat? Do you not know how Lord Ancestor deals with those who fail their missions? Oh no. Stop, are you out of your mind? What kind of a disgusting demonic technique is that? Haha, you fools, you actually just stood there and watched. Now have a taste of what 3 martial emperors' self-destruction feels like. Corpse ignition cannon. Why are you dodging? Zuiji, watch carefully, this is what real absolute defense is. That's the combined power of 3 entire martial emperors, yet you dare to catch it with your bare hands? What? If you can only reflect 100% of the damage, how can you call that absolute defense? At the very least, you should be able to reflect 10 times the damage. Give it back to you. I forgot to leave one alive. Let's go, we'll have the Drizzle Hall investigate the Dark Sect when we get back. Humph? What going on? After 3,000 years. I finally see the sun again. The explosion seems to have awakened something incredible. I have protected this tomb for so long while waiting for the right time. People of Northwest Huzhou, gather here immediately. Do you want the treasures inside this tomb? If you wish for treasures, I can give them all to you. Come here and get them. The most precious treasures in this world all lie here. Saint's Mausoleum. Awaken! The soul suppression feels so powerful. Quickly contact the sect leader. We need to form a group of tomb raiders. Thousands of years ago, there was an Earth attribute sovereign beast who had wreaked havoc across the Northwest province. A sovereign beast was comparable to a martial sovereign, so no one could stop it. But as the people despaired, a wandering doctor appeared. Despite only being a martial saint, the doctor was able to bring down the sovereign beast using deadly poison. When the sovereign beast died, its blood squirted out thousands of kilometers through the sky. Wherever the blood touched, grass would never grow. Ever since then, this place has been a desert. From the looks of it, this tomb is made out of the remains of that sovereign beast. So you're saying that this tomb might belong to that wandering doctor? Logically, with how strong a martial saint's life force usually is, he shouldn't have died 3,000 years ago, but he might have met with an accident. The strongest martial saint, the crownless sovereign, the 100-faced medical saint. Ever since the ancient war between the martial sovereigns, the Star Continent has been torn apart, and the cycle of spiritual energy between heaven and earth has remained disrupted. The balance broke, which resulted in it only being able to support 9 sovereigns at a time. Ever since then, there have been only 2 people capable of breaking this curse. The first one was the strongest sovereign, the Night Emperor. And the other one was the 100-faced medical saint. He was able to defeat martial sovereigns with the cultivation base of a martial saint. So even though there were only 9 martial sovereigns left after the Night Emperor disappeared, Star Continent retained the 10 Great Sovereigns title. So there being 10 Great Sovereigns instead of 9 or 5 Heavenly Demon Kings among the usual 4 is completely normal. It's all because of the poison techniques that the 100-faced medical saint mastered. That must be why all the experts of the Northwest province have been drawn over. Even the number of peak martial emperors are in the double digits. There are even some half-saints hidden among them. It's understandable. If you can master the medical saint's techniques, it's tantamount to possessing a nuclear weapon. But weren't you here when it first appeared? Why didn't you take it all away? You'll understand if you keep watching, sect leader. Humph, we're all martial emperors. Why are you all just standing there? This lord is not that patient. Senior medical saint. This junior will have to offend you. Nanny? Ouch. This tomb is protected by a reflective barrier. The stronger the force you use, the harder it hits back. Up until now, no one has been able to get in. Everyone here must have known that, right? Yet no one told the poor guy. I guess his interpersonal skills are not very good. Sect leader June, you're also here. I also came to the medical saint tomb to try my luck. Maybe there's something in here that can cure my eyes. Palace Lord Shi, it's been a while. but the problem with your eyes might have reached your soul, I'm afraid. It's fine, I gave up a long time ago, but it's still important to join in on the fun. Eh? Chien is also here? But even with so many powerful seniors here, we still can't enter the tomb. Why did it even summon so many people if it was just going to stop everyone from entering? The fated person is not here, no one can enter. Ding, a side mission has been triggered, the host must find a way to enter the forbidden tomb, the time limit is 30 minutes. Half an hour? Don't tell me the tomb will disappear again after the time limit is over. The barrier can reflect the attacks of multiple peak emperors, even a half-saint can't do anything to it. System, can I get any hints for the mission? If you want a hint, I can remind you of something. The 100-faced medical saint has always been two people, they never traveled alone. Palace Lord Shi, we'll be going ahead, I'll help you keep an eye out for any good medicine. Doggy, we're about to run into the barrier. Trust me. We are destined to meet even if we're 1,000 miles apart, and become obsessed with each other after a chance smile. I see. So it turns out that the fated one, the tomb, is looking for our couple fated to be with each other. I didn't expect the medical saint to be such a romantic duo. I told you guys that me and Chien are fated, do you see it now? Eh? What the beep, why are you two in here too, what kind of a twisted destiny do you have? Palace Lord Shi? How did you come in here by yourself? Sect leader, when you suddenly started charging here, I grabbed Zuiji and chased after you. When we came in here, I heard, one is the strongest spear and the other is the strongest shield, together, you can break all techniques. I heard, 2 lives in one body, sharing both cause and effect, interesting, how interesting. The medical saint's taste is quite broad, he ships all kinds of couples. If the medical saint is this accepting, we need to move in quickly, there will be people forming pairs and coming in soon. Too late, they're already here. Old G, it's all because of your crow's mouth. The voice just said enemies for half a life, fate for the other, you're my bad karma. An old couple? What old couple? This old man's grandchildren have all already begun opening their meridians, why would I care about this old crow? Humph? Marshal St. June, this one greets Sect Leader June. You know me? After your battle with the Ice Emperor's Alliance, who doesn't know Marshal St. June? I am an elder of the Sacred Flames Holy Land. Sect Leader June's 13 saint fires are regarded as a miracle by our sect. I hope St. June will be willing to come to our sect for a cup of wine after this. Since a rank 2 sect is inviting me, I must go. Sect Leader June, don't listen to his chatter about his cup of wine. The people of the Sacred Flames Holy Land all measure their alcohol by the barrels. Sect Leader June, you can just call me Old G. I am a wandering cultivator who belongs to no faction or sect. Ah, yeah. I saw Old G's peak martial emperor prowess a while ago outside the tomb. Say, even though we've been chatting for so long, why hasn't anyone else come in yet? Hundreds of travelers at once would get way too crowded. You are disturbing my peace, the entrance is now sealed. I guess even the medical saint has standards. Then let's explore the tomb together. From the looks of it, this tomb was completely made out of the bones of a sovereign beast. Only the bones of a sovereign beast can last this long. If it was made of some other material, it would have collapsed a long time ago. Crack, crack. The tomb is collapsing, quickly head in. The passageway has been completely blocked by sand and stones. I hope the medical saint left a backdoor for us. The medical saint was famous for his compassion, even for someone intent on desecrating his grave, he wouldn't leave them with no way out, or install poisonous smoke traps or something. Humph? It melted the sand. This smoke is extremely corrosive. If the worst comes to the worst, we can always go back the way we came. Plus, I refuse to believe that we have to be scared of a few tricks despite everyone's cultivation. This should be the burial chamber, right? Now that we're here, we must be safe. Shut up. Calling Old G is mouth magical would be an understatement. It's an embodiment of the Tao of reverse outcomes. This old man is still friends with him after so many years. It's all my fault for being too kind. A real expert with a powerful tongue. How scary. But he's right, we're in the burial chamber now, the coffins are right up ahead. The medical saint has indeed never traveled alone. Even their coffins are laid out in a pair. Sect leader, there are medicinal pills and books over here. However, most of these pills have already lost their effects. I found seeds of medicinal herbs stashed inside spatial rings over here. There are probably millions of them. Although this can be considered a big fortune, I feel like it's a bit lacking. After all, the tomb called all of the experts over. Sect leader, I remembered something we've forgotten about. When the tomb appeared, the voice said that it had guarded the tomb for 3,000 years. However, despite already entering the burial chamber, we haven't even seen a shadow of the guardian. You're right. Why would the guardian expose the location of the place it's supposed to be guarding? Something off. Ah, I remember now. I've seen the uniform that these stone statues full of sword intent are wearing in historical records. It's the uniform of a rank 2 demonic sect from 3,000 years ago, the demonic sword cult. These 8 statues should be the 8 protectors of the demonic sword cult. The records say that they all disappeared overnight, leading to the cult's destruction, so they were all turned into stone statues in this tomb. Maybe the number of their crimes had grown too high, leading to Senior Medical Saint killing them. It's been 3,000 years, yet I can still feel their aura from their bodies. Now I kinda want to experience what they were like when they were alive. Shut up now. If you want to die, don't drag us down with you. What's wrong with me saying that? They're statues, it's not like it will come to life. Right. Oh my. 8 peak-level sword emperors. So what if they're peak-level sword emperors? Sect leader Jun is a martial saint. It's not like sect leader Jun just so happens to have lost all his cultivation and been turned into an ordinary person. Right. You son of a beep, you're really some kind of a genius. Although you're a stone statue, for a peak-level emperor, your speed is quite disappointing. That's one down. With this, your 8-man sword formation has been broken. It regenerated? A stone golem that can repair itself is a little troublesome. What's more, they can all move independently. These stone golems that the medical saint created are not simple. It seems like I can only use my metaphysical weapons. Old G, quick! Praise those 8 stone statues. What? I feel like, after so many years, these stone statues should have deteriorated. How could that be? How could something created by the medical saint develop problems after just a few thousand years? It's not as if they are normal puppets that have joint problems and degrading power sources. Old G, I am officially inviting you to join the strongest sect of all time. You don't have to do anything other than eat, sleep, and compliment our opponents from time to time. But I don't think these stone statues stopped because of what you said, but rather because their connection to the power source was disconnected. Because of me kicking and breaking the roof. You're finally out. Sneaking around and setting all those traps. You must be the guardian of this tomb. Calm down, I am just trying to choose an heir as per my master's will. Your master? The 100-faced medical saint? Correct. Before the old man passed away, he used the saint energy in his body to grow a panacea. This panacea is a medical herb that takes 3,000 years to mature. It can even revive people who have nothing but their bones left. Now is the time for the panacea to ripen, so I followed Master's orders to look for an heir to his legacy. 3,000 years? How old can a kid like you be? The Master gave me medicine to retain my youth. Although I look like this, I am a few thousand years old. However, he never told me how to deal with so many fated people arriving at once. So I thought I could use the stone puppets to force out the real heir. Well, I guess I could just bring out the panacea and have you decide for yourself. After you take it, please leave by yourself. I just want to be left alone with my master in peace. That pillow. There's such a thick layer of dust on it. It clearly hasn't been used in a long time. I implore the panacea. This fragrance? I feel my bottleneck loosening just from its smell. This panacea is definitely a godly medicine. This is the panacea? Can it cure Palace Lord 11, Elder Wei, and Zuiji? Yes, it can definitely cure all illnesses. Because you will have no illnesses after you die. Humph? Brat, we knew you were scheming from the start. Plus, those specters behind you look awfully familiar. You say you protect the medical saint's resting place, yet you've never used the pillow? You brat, how dishonest of you. Plus, this armor can detect the flow of energy. Ever since you appeared, a specter of a snake, a man, and a scorpion hasn't left your side, and this feeling, it feels like I have felt it somewhere before. I remember now. Back when I tried to cure the poison in Zuiji's body, it gave me the same feeling as the specter behind you. Hey, there's no need to go that far just to prove my point, okay? Xingqian, go get the panacea. I'll suppress the poison in Zuiji's body. Go. System, switch to combat mode and channel all of the power into preserving the wearer. You're planning to use the pure-hearted lotus on a mere little poison? This is simply too much of a waste of a heavenly treasure. I won't say this a second time, move aside, even if you're just a soul, I have ways to make you dissipate for good. The pure-hearted lotus only sprouts 8 leaves every 3,000 years. Each of these leaves is a panacea. The poison in his body is simply a small trick. I can easily remove it with a wave of my hand. Why would I believe you? Because that bone-corroding poison was created by this saint. In order to show my appreciation for the bond you've shown, I'll save him. Go. We don't know your intentions, why would we believe you? Humph? This poison is quite weak. I guess you must have tried to remove it before. However, a poison created by me can only be completely cured by me. After being inflicted with the bone-devouring poison, the spirit root is slowly crippled and the body grows weak. But this kid somehow trained his physique and reconstructed a new peak-grade spirit root. Now that the poison has been completely removed, his old and new spirit roots will fuse. I can feel a spirit root surpassing the god grade slowly forming in his body. This is an opportunity for him to transform himself. The 100-faced medical saint, right? I know you passed thousands of years ago, so the poison in Zuiji's body could not have been planted by you. Since you saved his life, this emperor now owes you a life's favor. Medical saint, so you wanted to wait for the pure-hearted lotus to mature before revealing the tomb? Correct. A medical wonder such as this should be used to save the lives of others, instead of rotting in a place like this. This lotus was planted by me and Qinger. We wanted to use it to make up for her innate deficiency. However, because the lotus growth period was simply too long, Qinger did not make it. But you were already a martial saint, with your lifespan, how did you? I am not interested in a world without her. So I poisoned myself and ended up like this. Then why didn't you keep your wife company in heaven instead of staying here in the form of a spirit? The pure-hearted lotus is a fruit of our relationship. I did not wish for it to fall into the wrong hands, so I stayed behind to wait for the fated person. Plus, Qinger also stayed behind with me. It's just that after my soul was poisoned, it manifested this snake and scorpion, so now she's a little afraid of staying close to me, so even if she tries her best to be brave, she only dares to stay with me for a few hours at a time. Which is why I also want to find the fated ones and give this poison to them. A poison technique that can defeat a martial sovereign is not easy to find. Can't you just teach your servant your poison arts? Although he does look a little disobedient. The pentasyllabic demon saint is not my servant. He is a treacherous person who views human life as grass. Back then, he suffered from cultivation deviation and begged me to cure him. The pure-hearted lotus was the only thing that could help him. So I used the lotus as bait and trapped him in this place. But, unfortunately for him, only the fated people's presence can make the lotus appear. Which is why this lord has been trapped here for 3,000 years. Although my cultivation has degraded to the martial emperor stage, I was once a martial saint. Otherwise, I would have been known as the first martial saint to die of starvation. No wonder I felt like someone was spying on me for the past thousands of years. You didn't enter this cycle of reincarnation after your death. But now that the lotus has appeared, there's no need for me to continue hiding. Although it's not permanent, I can still recover my previous cultivation for a period of time. Pentasyllabic domain. All those weaker than me who stand in this domain will have their cultivation completely suppressed. The higher your cultivation, the worse the level of suppression. Now, if you step aside obediently so that I can get the lotus, I'll leave you an intact corpse. Thousands of years ago, this lord used this domain to become invincible. Mere martial emperors like you should just grovel in front of me. Sorry to interrupt, but does your domain have any other abilities? If it doesn't, I'll start slapping your face now. They said. You're also a martial saint? I can't even sense a single trace of spiritual energy on your body. I can't believe the world has degraded to the point where a cripple like you can be born. Let me guess, your title of martial saint must be because of that weird armor from earlier, right? Just a bunch of petty tricks. Although I'm no longer at my peak, against someone like you, just half a move will be enough to kill. The deceiver has been taken care of. Let's see who else dares to stop me from taking the lotus. Aren't you too that deceiver's disciple and fated one? Now that he has turned to ash, why don't you even shed a tear for him? Medical saint, it seems like the so-called fated ones that you've chosen are not up to standards. The reason why they aren't sad is because a person who can kill me hasn't been born yet. Impossible, you're a cripple with no spiritual energy. How did you survive my attack? Even a martial emperor would have been reduced to ashes. Who said you need spiritual energy to fight? Back in my hometown, we have a phrase for situations like this. I don't need a gun, I don't need a cannon. You actually set my spiritual energy ablaze? Let's dance, old man. This fire has such an overbearing corrosive property. This must be one of the 10 great saint fires, the bone-melting corrosive flame. No wonder there's not a single trace of spiritual power in your body. You used it all to raise this saint fire. The bone-melting corrosive flame can corrode and burn for a long period of time. It's not a bad mystical fire. But it's too bad that the speed it burns at is too slow. Let's see you try to burn this next attack with your saint fire. Lightning flames. Lightning flames? You can actually control 2 saint fires? It seems like I have underestimated you, to think that there's someone who can control 2 saint fires. 3, 4, 7, 8. 13 mystic fires? So, my dear pentasyllabic demon saint, do you think I am qualified to slap your old wrinkly face? Impudent. I can finally die without regrets now that I've witnessed all 13 mystic fires in combat. Sect Leader June can even utilize each flame's property to its maximum potential. This is great. If Sect Leader June keeps holding on, victory will definitely be ours. You idiot, no one will think you're mute if you don't speak. It's over. Nanny? Oh no. I've seen through your little trick. If your fire can't touch me, you can't burn my spiritual power to fuel your mystic fires. I even took the time to make sure the hole was deep and smooth enough. Once I eat the panacea, I will be able to return to my peak, or get even stronger. By then, much less the 13 mystic fires, even if you bring 30, I will still make you die a horrible death. Medical saint scram, otherwise I'll shatter your wife's soul with a punch. Old G, if you don't want to die, start praising the pentasyllabic demon saint. The more you praise him, the better. Remember to be sincere. Humph? There's no use. The pentasyllabic demon saint is a martial saint. Unless the medical saint or the sovereign beast return to life, we're dead for sure. Shut up. You little brat, your words have an abnormal power. However, do you really think that just 2 sentences from your mouth are enough to bring back things that have been dead for thousands of years? Ha ha ha, keep dreaming. Old G, you really surprised me. Tell me honestly. Did you read the script? Elder +1. A few moments earlier. Be sincere. Do I have anything that will be useful against a martial saint? The armor won't survive more than 2 hits from the pentasyllabic demon saint. Summon a pet? Even Little Long Long can only fight against martial emperors at best. Where is the smell of blood coming from? After the sovereign beast died, its blood covered the sky. Don't you think that it's a huge coincidence that the essence blood which contained most of its power just so happened to be hidden in the place where you dug a hole? What's even more of a coincidence is that my Peppa is also an earth attribute beast. His compatibility with the sovereign beast is also pretty good, which allowed him to borrow a portion of the sovereign beast's strength. How infuriating is that? It's a wild animal that has been dead for thousands of years. What kind of power could it possibly have? Quiet. Fast. I couldn't detect the spiritual energy's movements at all. I'm done for. The actual capabilities of this child have been exposed. Say, Old 5, could you just pretend that it didn't happen? Old 5? Are you mocking me? Peppa, can you block this? You're the one who said that martial saints are like ants to you now. Elephant trunks. Penta shadows. Yo, old 5 can clone himself. So what if you have the strength of a sovereign beast? The speed of an Earth-attributed beast is always slow. Let's see you try to catch me while I use my Penta shadow technique. Let's see you try to block this. Die. Why? Does a pig have arms? Old 5, will you surrender now? I can tell that you're a talented person. Why don't you consider joining the strongest sect of all time? We're some of the best in the industry, and our growth potential is immeasurable. Quiet, if you think you can subdue this old 5, this great pentasyllabic demon saint, I'll have you know that I traversed the world unchallenged, only to fall at the hands of the medical saint. He kept me trapped here for 3,000 years. Don't even think about imprisoning me for any longer. Calling our sect a prison is not right. After all, we do have insurance and benefits. You can think of it as legally detaining. No one will imprison me again. Even if a god descends, I will burn them to ashes. Calm down, there's no need to be so agitated. You're making me look like the villain. Final gambit. I'd rather die. What did you say? The thumping sound is a little too loud. Little 5 greets the sect master. This is my origin soul, a small gift, please accept it. You're too polite, Little 5. You know what, since we're going to be family after this, I'll respectfully call you Elder Wu. Now, my all-time sect is a dual saint sect. Humph? This realm. Why does it have the aura of a sovereign? Has a little fish escaped the net? Your ability to return to your peak state, how long can you maintain it for? Peak state? That was just the strength of a new martial saint, it's far from my peak. If I want to maintain that state, I guess I can keep it up for an hour or so. However, if I eat the entire panacea, I can recover and return to being a peak martial saint. If I have the entire lotus, I can use the cultivation of a peak martial saint to conduct soul severing. When the time comes, I can shed the part of my origin soul that you hold and kill you in one hit. However, the biggest problem is that pig. After ingesting the blood of the sovereign beast, it also gets the strength of one. If I counterattack later, it will pose the biggest threat. It's good that there's not much left of the sovereign beast's essence blood. I guess it could only display such power once. Peppa, why did you turn back so quickly? It's good that the sovereign beast was gigantic. Even a single drop of his essence blood is this much. If we use it conservatively, you will become our sect's hidden trump card. Calm down, calm down. I still have my pentasyllabic shadows. He can't catch me. Worst comes to worst, I'll just avoid that, Peppa. Sect leader, why don't you give the lotus to me? I can recover my strength and increase the sect's overall combat power. Palace Lord Shi, try eating this lotus petal and see if it cures your eyes. Sect leader, I need to eat all 8 petals to be able to get rid of all the poison in my body. Otherwise I won't be able to return to my peak martial saint state. That's enough power to take over the entirety of the current star continent. Oh, my sect already has a peak martial saint. Now, we even have a pseudo-sovereign. There's no rush for us to get another peak martial saint, so we'll just make do with what we have for now. Plus, Palace Lord She came all the way here from Northwest Hizhou in hopes of finding medicine that might be able to cure her eyes. Plus, Elder Wei back at the sect also needs this medicine, so just wait your turn. Also, don't we still have the stem? With my luck, I can refresh the shop. And quickly find something that can regrow the lotus faster, so I'll trouble you by making you wait a bit longer. My master plan to backstab him will have to be delayed for a long time. Sect leader, the pentasyllabic demon saint's strength is profound. He isn't the type to willingly serve others. Sooner or later, he will betray your sect. It's basically like raising a tiger. Crap. My master plan to escape is hopeless now. Oh gee, now that you've said it, I have nothing to worry about anymore. When you join my sect in the future, you must keep this up. You must keep telling me more about what the sect is lacking and how strong the enemies are. Senior Medical Saint, thank you for curing the poison in my disciple's body. Just a small matter. You can also send your disciples here, be it to roam around, or to learn the poison arts from me. Maybe I'll find more people fated with me. Maybe I'll even find a genius of the poison arts among your disciples that can inherit my legacy. That's hard to say. I wonder which of my disciples will be fortunate enough to learn from you. By the way, Senior, I have a question to ask you. The poison inside Zuiji's body, had you perhaps given it to someone before? Like the Xiao family? There's no need to say how vicious they are to use that kind of poison, but being able to use your poison means their background must not be simple. I'm worried about them causing more harm to Zuiji in the future. Let me think. This bone-rotting poison. I gave it to the Murong family. The Murong family back then was a world-class family. Even I had to give face to the head of the Murong family. Now that thousands of years have passed, I wonder how the Murong family is doing. I wonder if they're still doing well. Very well, they have been living very, very well. In fact, they are the entire reason why Zuiji has his protagonist template. So it turns out this farce was scripted and played out by them this entire time. If your disciple's enemy is a world-class family, I'd suggest you to not make a big deal out of it. Ancient families have existed on the Star Continent for thousands of years. Even if they have degraded, their means are still innumerable. Even a martial sovereign would hesitate to push them too far. A family that has existed for thousands of years, if I didn't have to, I wouldn't want to be their enemy either. However, even though the trees want peace and quiet, the wind refuses to stop. This is Zuiji's battle and I will stand by him the entire way. Brothers, have you heard? That wastrel from the Xiao family has started growing his fangs again recently. Oh? Didn't we plant the bone-rotting poison in that peasant's body? How did he recover from that? Poison made by the medical saint has to be pretty good. Even the old man back in my family sang its praises. Of course it's good. Back then, when I ordered someone to plant the poison, my father found out, but that was to be expected. The way he lost his spiritual root was way too sudden. My father was heartbroken over the loss of the bone-rotting poison for a very long time. But now this trash has recovered and even vowed to come to Lily Saint Land to challenge us. To get back his so-called dignity? He wants to get something back from us? A lowly peasant like him? I, Murong Shaolin, cannot stand this kind of trash jumping in front of me the most. If he dares to come, I will make sure that he never leaves. But the all-time sect is a little weird. I will need you to help me. I hope you don't forget. My cousin, Murong Xian, is the one most likely to become the next head of the Murong family. I'm sure you don't want to see her get married off to someone from a lowly peasant family, do you? My family has a couple of Master Fan's weapons. The elders aren't very strict about me taking them out either. Some of our guest elders are always looking to suck up to me. I can lend them to you. I have done my research on the all-time sect. Not only is their sect leader proficient in both martial arts and sword arts, but the growth rate of their disciples is also unbelievable. However, my family's martial saint was watching their battle against the Ice Emperor Alliance. Their sect leader's aura grew incredibly weak after the battle. So we suspect that he used some secret technique to reach the state of a martial saint for a short time, or was heavily injured in his battle against the Ice Emperor. If we want to get rid of him, we must do it quickly. The longer we wait, the more effort we will have to spend. Then let's announce the matter of him coming to Lily Saint Land to the world in advance. We can force them to come ahead of their schedule and give them less time to prepare, making them come to their death earlier. Then we can keep harassing them and wear them down. Ha ha ha, I can't wait to see their haggard looks when they finally reach Lily Saint Land. This is getting fun. This matter is related to the reputation of the ancient families of the entire East Hao province. We can't use your petty tricks. We need to find out all the details about the all-time sect and make sure there are no chances of failure before cleanly and swiftly defeating them in one go. We have to let these peasants know that all those who dare offend us will die. The battlefield must be the Lily Saint Land. We must make the world witness. When the time comes, I'll have the Sword Saint sect help us out. Everyone, there is no room for mistakes. Humph, you aren't even my brother-in-law yet, but you're already acting so arrogantly. However, if the Murong family can have a marriage alliance with the Ling family, it'll bring great benefits to both of us. Slave. Young master, this old slave is here. Go announce the all-time sex challenge to the world. At the same time, send a few death warriors to the all-time sect as a small gift from me. Where is my house's front gate? I swear I left it here. How could such a large gate have disappeared? Sect leader, you're back. With this old man holding down the fort, it'll be fine even without a front gate. Elder brother, he said he was going to train in the training tower, so he took the gate with him. Elder brother, he He would he? Yes, we discussed it with each other. I'll call him elder brother while he will call me elder. He's only a teenager, but you're over 1,000 years old. Don't tell me you really swore brotherhood and promised to die together with him. Humph, what a loss of face, actually calling a little kid your elder brother. How dare you run your mouth with your mere peak martial emperor level of cultivation? I didn't notice at first, but you're actually a martial saint. I guess it's only natural that those who can enter the eyes of the sect leader are no slouches. Junior, you should be glad that the one you met wasn't my elder brother, or else you would have been in the recycling bin already. Elder Ice, don't tell me that Woody Brat has already reached the martial saint realm too? He has only been cultivating for a year. I can't see through my elder brother's cultivation, however. His knowledge of the martial path is unrivaled. Just a few sentences from him solved a problem that had been troubling me for 1,000 years. Don't tell me this kid is the reincarnation of some ancient big shot. Why do I feel like my position as the main character is being threatened again? Welcome back, Sect Leader. May I ask if the training tower can be further upgraded? I already beat the 9th floor. I am a little bored right now. How infuriating. This kid is actually flexing in front of me. Sect Leader, you're finally back. I have some matters to report to you. Humph, the irritating feeling is getting worse. So you're saying that there's news going around that we will be going to Lily Saint Land in 7 days to challenge them? Yes, the course of this news is unclear, but it has already spread throughout the entire Qingyang and East Hao province. Someone is trying to get us to go fight earlier than scheduled. If we don't show up in 7 days, news of us being too scared to appear will definitely spread throughout the entire Star Continent. This is obviously a conspiracy. They are obviously trying to take advantage of the fact that our troops are still exhausted to strike us while we are down. Now that the enemies have played this card, how should we respond? Zuiji. Sect Leader, I'm ready to fight any time. The aura around Zuiji changed so much. They were the one who poisoned you, they were also the ones who humiliated you. Now someone is trying to pull out the roots before the grass can grow. It must be them this time too. Do they really believe the disciples of my all-time sect? Are lambs waiting to be slaughtered? Qingyang, summon the top 10 disciples from the sect's inner competition. The enemies have already sent a declaration of war. We can't disappoint them. So what if you're an ancient family? So what if you're of noble lineage? If you want to fight, we'll fight. Oh, by the way, I've prepared some new equipment for you. These clothes, aren't they a little? Trust me, it's fine. Have you forgotten our sect's rule? When we slap others' faces, we must always do it in the most novel way possible. The next day. These clothes feel like they'll restrict my movements. Sect Leader said that these are made from the silk of the sky silkworm. The defense and elasticity should all be top tier. I'm indeed a little not used to it. But the pressure it gives off is quite special. Why am I going to? Do I not need to close the door anymore? Weren't you bored? I'm taking you out to have some fun so you can release some of your excess energy. Then I'll entrust you with guarding the door properly while I'm gone. Be at ease, elder brother. Renshan, your job will be to watch Elder Ji after we leave. If he says something nice about our sect, you must repeat exactly what he says too. The life and death of our sect is in your hands. Oh. Set out. The all-time sect sets out for war. Not a single blade of grass will survive. They have left their sect. Young Master said that we must eliminate half their members before they reach Lily Saint Land. Their strongest members are only in the martial emperor realm. The 7 of us can easily do this. They're fighting against an ancient family. The sect leader is doing something dangerous. They will definitely suffer no small amount of harassment on the way. Don't worry, the sect leader will make the enemies regret their actions. This isn't a compliment to the sect, so I probably don't need to repeat what he said. Let's go, we need to get into position. Weird, I suddenly slipped and the spiritual power in my body turned into a mess. I couldn't even fly in time. What a huge loss of face for all the half-saints. Since when did half-saint cultivators start spawning? In the area outside of my sect? You think you can scare me? None of you. Steal him from me. Final gambit. You're a half-saint, right? Have a taste of what it feels like to get hammered into the ground. Properly remember this pain. Senior Wujue, if you keep hitting him. Let him be, he needs to release his resentment. All done. Even with their spiritual power sealed, a half-saint's physique is no joke. It's a good thing the new prison cells are done. They should be strong enough to hold him, so let's send him there. Number 0001 imprisoned. Did the sect leader hollow out the entire Iron Bone Mountain? How many people does he plan on keeping here? The all-time sect has many enemies, so the sect leader is planning for the future. If I hadn't submitted to the all-time sect back then, I would have been prisoner number 0001. Let's head into the city and take some rest. I'm tired of eating roast meat every day. All expenses will be handled by the sect. Feel free to eat whatever you want. Can we go to a different restaurant? The place you picked doesn't look very good. We left the sect in a hurry, so I didn't have time to get the travel expenses approved. We haven't reached our destination yet, so you guys will just have to endure a bit on the way. What, travel expenses weren't approved? Do we even need an approval process? Which little bastard dared to freeze your money? Sect leader's prison construction completely exceeded the budget, so all this little beepstard can do is cut costs elsewhere. Junior brother Yi. Do you have a problem with that? Boss, give me a bowl of fish balls with thick noodles. No thick noodles. Fish ball ramen? No fish balls. Boss, I want to hit you. They've entered the city. That martial saint is still with them. Since even Captain Tang couldn't retaliate against him, there's no way we can fight him head-on anymore. Do we have to give up on the mission? Give up? The Murong family will not be kind to deserters. What's more, there are many ways to kill without direct confrontation. Humph? Sign language. Outside the city at 10 o'clock, about 2 kilometers away, there's bloodlust. Sect leader, what's this brat waving about in the middle of a meal? Li Shangtian suddenly felt killing intent directed towards us about 2 kilometers away. 2 kilometers? Killing intent? How could you possibly feel it from such a distance? I didn't sense anything at all. Shangtian is our Drizzle Hall's best disciple. In this aspect, he is the undisputed top prodigy. Even his master says that it's a huge shame he doesn't want to become an assassin. What are they doing? These are the hand signals invented by the Drizzle Hall. You can quickly transfer information to your allies without having to worry about being eavesdropped on by your enemies. Our sect even has such a sophisticated hand signaling system, incredible. But because the system is inhumanely complicated, other than the disciples of the Drizzle Hall, no one else has been able to learn it properly. Aren't they just randomly waving their hands then? Old Wu, these disciples were once brothers in arms. Don't underestimate their tacit understanding of each other. Alright, then it's settled. I'll be the one to go deal with them. Xiao Mo, didn't you point at me just now? You were saying I should go, right? I pointed at you to tell you to step aside. My speed is higher than yours. That's because you can run faster. Do you think you can fight better than me? Eh? Where did Xingyang go? He left while you three were randomly waving about. The enemies are most likely all martial emperors. Can Xingyang do it? Won't it be too dangerous? Sometimes, just because you have a lower cultivation doesn't mean you can't oko the enemy. This is a bottle of the Reaper's Kiss. Don't worry about how little there is. If we pour this into the city's water supply, everyone in the city will be domed. There are hundreds of thousands of people in the city. Isn't this a little excessive? If we don't succeed, we will be the ones dying. On the other hand, if they die along with the city, the ancient families will help us cover it up. Then let's do it. I'll go take a piss. Let's do it as soon as I get back. They won't be able to discover this poison, will they? This poison has no color or smell, it only has a faint bitter almond taste. You're back. We plan on planting the poison in the water wells outside of Luhai City as soon as possible. I suddenly had a thought. This plan is not very safe. What if they don't stay in the city for long and decide to leave? We don't have any other better options right now. Once they decide to move, it won't be easy to tail them while hiding from a martial saint. I recently acquired a treasure. I heard that it is a specialty poison made by the 100-faced medical saint. It's colorless and odorless, and even a martial saint will find it difficult to resist. The best part is the way the poison spreads. It can disperse itself through the air. We can poison them by just bringing the poison pill close enough to them. What an incredible treasure. With this, our success rate will increase. Wait a minute, if it disperses through the air, won't we be? Don't worry. You won't die. The all-time sex prison welcomes the 4 guests. Massacring an entire city without a thought. The ancient families have actually fallen to such a degree. Back in my time, although the ancient families were also very strong, with the 9 great sovereigns forming a power balance, they didn't dare to be this brazen. Power balance? What kind of power did the ancient families possess to counter the 9 sovereigns? The martial sovereigns were strong. They were capable of parting the ocean and toppling mountains. Relying on their cultivation, they could, indeed, suppress an entire ancient family alone. However, other than the accumulation of their family's strength, legacy techniques, formation arrays, and other treasures, they had a trump card that could threaten the martial sovereigns. Every ancient family worshipped a sovereign beast. The ancestors of the ancient families signed contracts with and provided these sovereign beasts resources. In exchange, the sovereign beasts protect their clan. While they both may be in the sovereign realm, sovereign beasts have stronger physical bodies and can live for much longer than human sovereigns. However, these beasts only appear during times of great peril to save the family. So, with the 9 sovereigns to keep them in check, the ancient families shouldn't be acting so arrogantly. This doesn't make any sense at all. Don't tell me something big happened in the 3,000 years during which I was trapped? Old Icehead back at the Sect passed away 2,000 years ago and only revived recently. Doesn't have any information about what happened in the last 2,000 years, and I've never heard him mention any big events that happened over 2,000 years ago. So the great change must have happened within the last 2,000 years. Sect leader, I've read countless history books but none of them mention any big events. But aren't martial sovereigns just a legend? No one has ever met a martial sovereign. Even the 9 great sovereigns is merely a title left over from the ancient times. That should be normal, right? Anyone that has reached the sovereign realm should be hidden somewhere trying to advance another step. Impossible. I, myself, have met 3 martial sovereigns before. They aren't the type of existences that would settle down. How could they have been reduced to nothing more than legends? What about the ancient families? How many of them are there? There are 6 ancient families, the upper and lower 3. The upper 3 families include the Ling, Zhu, and Murong families. The lower 3 families include the Lu, Situ, and Yang family. And for some reason, all 6 families are gathered in the East Hao province. Martial sovereigns are beings with long lifespans and apex combat prowess, yet there are no records of them at all. Then, perhaps, it's possible that someone is trying to suppress them. They most likely killed the 9 great sovereigns and 3 of the sovereign beasts. What's more, the fate of the guardian beasts of the lower 3 families is also uncertain. Even if they are alive, whoever did this actually forced the remaining sovereigns to huddle up in one place to protect themselves. System, if someone like that is our enemy, can't we just give up? With your talent, won't you also be able to one-shot martial sovereigns? But it's indeed too early for you to consider an opponent like that. You don't have to worry though. Isn't the Star Continent perfectly fine without the 9 great sovereigns? What you should be worrying about right now are the 3 guys behind the Murong family. We're going to Lily Saint Land to slap their faces. If they get involved, things will get messy. Then again, why would they care about an insignificant dual king like you? Sigh, with my luck, even if I don't want any accidents to happen, something will still go wrong. Shaolin? What kind of exotic treasure did you bring me this time? Lord Ancestor, this is a rare and exotic fruit I found in the northeast Lu province, the frozen quinoa. It just so happens to be capable of helping the Ancestor relieve some heat and ease your meridians. Haha, you're still the one who understands my preferences the most, kid. So, is there anything interesting happening in the Star Continent? How is your family doing? With your protection, the family can only rise. As for interesting news, an upstart sect has recently dared to issue a challenge against our ancient families. But they are indeed somewhat capable. I sent 5 of my subordinates to teach them a lesson, but they ended up in the all-time sect's prison, a bunch of trash. Prison? Yeah, their sect has some kind of a weird rule, due to which they don't deal the killing blow. Instead, they capture their opponents and lock them up. They even give them weird numbers like 0001 or whatever and post these prisoners on their sect announcement board. Ouch. What going on? What's wrong with the Ancestor? Third brother, you're already such a large bird. How can you still be so reckless? We are the ancestor beasts of the ancient families. We can't suffer a loss of dignity in front of others. Plus, the three of us brothers are considered the apex experts of the star continent now. Tell us, what has gotten you so flustered? Big brother, second brother. It appeared again. The prison with the numbering scheme, it appeared again. What, that person didn't come back again, did he? Second brother, what are you panicking for? We are no longer the same as we were back then. Even if the three of us work together, we still can't measure up to half his fingernail. Big brother is amazing, you can still keep a clear head. My two brothers. This is your elder brother's will, I want you two to be my witnesses. My two junior brothers. I'll be on my way now. Calm down, senior brother. And why do you have poison and a noose inside your room? You have to stay calm, it's just an unconfirmed rumor, plus, didn't we survive the tragedy back then? The reason we survived back then wasn't our strength. Why? Why are you imprisoning all of the martial sovereigns? When did someone as strong as you appear on the star continent? So you call this place the star continent, Humph? This planet is a bit low grade, it only produced 9 human and 9 beast sovereigns. Well, even collecting 18 more additions from my collection would be considered a loss on this trip. Yet, there's 6 of you ugly clowns that can't even transform properly. You're not even qualified to be added to my prison. Well, I'll come back when the star continent is full of martial sovereigns again. He's actually treating us like prisoners to add to his collection, what a pervert. What's wrong with being a pervert? It's really hard to say it out loud, but we managed to escape because we were ugly. We're still better off than those 3 from the lower 3 families. They were so ugly that the man gave them a severe beating. The star continent is merely a small world, plus, there haven't been any signs of someone breaking through to the martial sovereign realm. So that demon shouldn't be back yet. Still, we can't ignore even the smallest signs of danger. As your senior brother, let me go test the enemy's bottom line. If I don't come back, go hide deep in the mountains and don't even think about saving me. Senior brother. It's here, the disguise technique that senior brother has been practicing for 1,000 years. It can fool anyone in this world. Haha, this is the first time senior brother has shown this technique. We must watch and learn. Senior brother? Take care, my brothers. Old 3, do you still want to learn this transformation technique? Not unless I want to turn into roasted chicken. Lily St. Land is at the top of the mountain up ahead. Let's change into our combat attire, everyone. We don't know what kind of welcome greetings they might have prepared for us. Humph? Who's there? What's that? Some kind of a ferocious beast? It looks a little dumb. It doesn't have any spiritual power either. Maybe it's just a normal wild animal? This is a cat, don't look down on it. Although it has no spiritual power, it can turn people into its slaves. Turn people into slaves? With its short legs? I don't think it will even be able to catch its prey. From what I can see, these brats at the Martial King and Martial Emperor realm are very ordinary. They shouldn't be that demon's companions. Wah, its fur is so soft. It's better to be prudent. Let's see if they are scheming anything. Lion's Eye. These guys have Martial Emperor level spiritual power. Their talents are extraordinary. What's more, they are all so young, they have the potential to become martial sovereigns. That one. His aura is hidden to the point where it's not seeping out. It's dark and cold, yet profound. The most important thing is that he looks a little familiar. As for the last one at the back. Nanny? Is that even something that could have been born in the star continent? His aura is so thick it's almost liquid. Hold on, he's smirking. Is he laughing at me? He definitely saw through me. How interesting. Stay calm, I need to stay calm. This is the disguise technique that I've spent many years creating. I even used that demon as a test subject. There's no way he is stronger than that demon, right? Come on, kitty cat, meow and show them your charm. That's right, I just need to act the part, and get his suspicions off me. Woof. Ah, what an interesting lion. I mean kitty. Hey, what did you just say? You let it slip. Then does that mean his sect leader, this little kid surnamed June, is also not normal? A cat that can bark like a dog. He's a cripple that doesn't even have a trace of spiritual power. Eh? There seems to be a blurry golden globe behind him. You must be this world's panda bear. Oh my, mommy, I want go home. Woof, woof. Master, Am I putting in enough strength? Your skills are good and you're putting in just enough. This must be your way of survival, huh? At least it knows its place. On top of Lily St. Land. Third brother, our senior brother should have already met the all-time Sect's people at the foot of the mountain, right? Did he send us a signal yet? Senior brother. He is. Helping their leader brush his hair. Say, should we start considering what pose to strike when we surrender later? There are too many options, it's hard to choose, I didn't think you would actually dare to come challenge us. Our job is to make sure that not just any random riffraff can attempt to challenge Lily St. Land. Our 3 families will each send out a peak martial king. If your disciples can defeat them, you can ascend the mountain. Lily St. Land is a sect of our East Hao province, so, as the ancient families of the East Hao province, we must naturally stand behind it. The lower 3 clans are guarding the foot of the mountain, while the upper 3 clans are guarding the mountainside. You can only challenge Lily St. Land if you can get through us. If Boss Ling hadn't specifically told us to only exhaust them by repeatedly slapping their faces, we would have destroyed them right here. Who will be the first to send themselves to their death? Or will your entire group of low and mid-quality martial kings come together? I wasn't expecting us to get the chance to go first. Hey, why am I getting sent out? I'm the strategist. I can't lose face for the dragon family's sake. I'll take care of the timid guy. Then I'll take the spearman. I'll beat that big guy. Boy, you look scared. Maybe you don't want to follow your sect leader to your death. Remember to follow someone better in your next life. Hey, I already told you I can't do this, you better not force me. Haha, go die, coward from the all-time sect. Humph? Cut. Beep starred, you were playing me? Pierce. Break. You tricked me to lower my guard, and used 2 moves to block my meridians. What are you? I already told you. I am a strategist, proficient in weaponry, punching and kicking martial arts. Second place winner of the all-time Sect's Golden Roasted Chicken Acting Awards, leader of the Fan Tai, Sema Shongda. Sect leader, my speed of dispatching enemies is not bad, right? Fooling others has basically become your thing already. There's nothing to look forward to. Now these other 2 are real exciting matches. These are battles between dragons and phoenixes. I can stop whatever you throw at me. No one can break the defensive techniques that I have been training for multiple years. Dragon spear. Dragon in the sky. Why? Are you not attacking? I'm waiting for you to attack. Dragon horse spirit. If you don't attack, how am I going to use my defenses to reflect the damage? I only have one specialty. If you don't attack, I don't know what to do either. Wow. This is my first time seeing such an exciting battle. Those 2 were taught by the same master, right? They can't deal with each other's attacks. More like they have no attacks to begin with. This lord switched to purely practicing defensive techniques many years ago, but today, I'll make an exception. Brat, watch out. You better not die in 1 hit. This punch is comparable to the full force of a high-stage martial king. Since you were able to stop it, it seems like I have underestimated you. It feels a bit uncomfortable. I thought that since your arm looks so weird, your attack would be incredibly powerful. Impudent. Then I'll be a bit more serious now. Fury swipes. This is the power of a peak martial king. Let's see if you can stop it as easily. Seismic toss. Strength. Iron tail. Those attacks sound familiar. They must have really been trained by the same master. Sect leader, shouldn't you be more curious about why that guy has a tail? Oh, so it's that old guy. I wasn't expecting that. After a few years of not paying attention to worldly matters, my star continent would produce such talented prodigies again. To think a mid-stage martial king was able to stop a martial emperor-level attack. Talent? For the all-time Sect's disciples, talent is only the first step. Only through countless battles can we forge our iron-boned spirits. Senior Zuiji and I are responsible for blocking the enemies so that our Sect's brothers and sisters can attack to their heart's content. My defenses are not comparable to Senior Brother Zuiji, which is why I have all these scars, truly embarrassing. Haha, with prodigies like you willing to put your lives on the line, the Star Continent still has hope. What? Why are there no scars on your back? Because I only need to worry about the enemies in front of me. My back is protected by my fellow disciples. Oh? Since you all are so young and brimming with such potential. If you retreat now, I won't pursue you. I heard that your sect has constructed a special prison, so I came to take a look for myself. I didn't expect to meet good seedlings like you instead. You are not my opponent, go back and cultivate. With the difference in our realms, you don't stand a chance. Martial Saint? Old Four's injuries are pretty severe, he's still stuck in the Martial Saint realm. Sect leader, the enemy can't be underestimated, his aura is almost on par with the old Ice Head. Not bad, you can still maintain your posture instead of kneeling. Your toughness is admirable, but you haven't tasted the feeling of absolute crushing pressure. We 6 ancient families share the same bond, and the ancestors of the upper 3 families are even stronger than me. If you face them, you will not even have an intact corpse left. Hey, old Four. Die if you want to, don't bring the 3 of us down with you, ah. Humph? Ouch. How is this possible? What? Terrifying killing intent. It feels like all the bones in my body were broken, and that lion. Scram. Woof. Yes. Sester. And what about these kitchen scraps? What going on? Woody, why did that seafood platter suddenly run away? Although my cultivation is not on par with him, playing a few tricks to scare him away is not hard. I don't get it. Let's just climb up the mountain. Say, don't you think this seafood man will taste really good in a? I'm sure it'll go great with some mustard. These people are definitely demons. I hope those stupid brothers of mine don't end up exposing me. I still want to live. These 3 statues should be representative of the sovereign beasts that support them, right? How arrogant. I didn't expect you to make it to the middle of the mountain. The lower 3 families are getting worse and worse. I won't make it too hard for you, 3 peak martial emperors. You can challenge them any way you want. You can even gang up on them if you want to. However, you can't blame us if you end up tearing your tendons and breaking your bones. Go. You're not allowed to return until you draw blood. Yes, young master. Eh? Where did they go? I saw something fly by and all 3 of my martial emperors disappeared. I've underestimated you. You must have some kind of powerful hidden weapon. Unfortunately for you, I have a trump card. No matter how strong your weapons are, you cannot stop an endless number of martial emperors. All martial emperors, attack. Sect leader, were you the one who got rid of the 3 guys earlier? I'm not sure. I don't know what happened either, don't ask me. What's going on? Did we suddenly become spectators? Why do I feel like we're not participating enough? Oh? Here comes our chance to participate. Xiao Zuiji. Which one of you is Xiao Zuiji? Do you only know how to hide behind your sect brothers when faced with a challenge? For Sinner, even if I, Ling Fei, have to single-handedly defeat your sect, I will. Ah? They really left. You were looking for me? My cousin has already broken off her engagement with you. I don't care about what method you used to defeat the martial emperors we send out, but now that you're here to cause trouble for her, I will never let you hurt my cousin, Sinner. 8-way sword. Although sneak attacks are against my sword Dao, it is for the sake of my cousin. That attack just now should only have injured him at most. It was not enough to threaten his life. I hope he gets scared and knows when to retreat. The mouth feel is not bad. It's made of top-tier frost iron. This sword is called the Shadowless Blade. It is a masterpiece made by Grandmaster Fan. Mouth feel? Then help me pass the word to Grandmaster Fan. His control over the furnace is really good. With nothing but his teeth, he actually bit the Shadowless Blade apart. You, just what level have you cultivated to? Before I went into the medical saint's tomb, I was a peak martial king, but now. Why don't you experience it yourself? Collapsing fist. 6 swords into 1. Even a martial emperor will choose to avoid a sword formation as destructive as this. When that time comes, the real killer move will be activated. Dodge now and welcome your own defeat. Come on, dodge. He is not dodging it at all. Whipping kick. Big brother Ling Fei, let's go play. I love Big brother Ling Fei the most. Big brother, I want to break off the engagement. I don't want to marry someone I don't know. Cousin, I've defeated you. You should just forget about the jokes we made when we were children. Cousin, I met Zeiji again. I feel like he has changed. I also felt something weird when I saw him. You're here to humiliate her. I won't let you through. Humiliate? Why would I do that? I'm just here to fulfill the 3-year promise. Are you here to force her to marry you again then? Just so you can win back your worthless dignity? This Zhao's character is upright like senior brother Qin Yang. Ahem, what I meant is my character is upright and above board. I won't do anything slanderous. If you don't believe me, you can ask my fellow disciples what we are here for. Steal a bride. Rob a few more if we have the chance. Sect leader, didn't we agree that we're here to display the might of the sect? Even when it's about the matter of breaking off my engagement, I just want to wash away the shame. When did it turn into a bride-stealing expedition? Ahem. It's not as if you don't know that the people in the sect all love to watch drama. I don't have any feelings for Murong Sin. Who the hell am I going to kidnap? That might not be true. When we train at the sect, who's the person that beats you up the most? Xingqian. Who do you have the best relationship with among the disciples? Xingqian. With that, we can conclude that you have hidden masochistic tendencies, therefore, as she's the girl who has hurt you the most, Murong Sin must have a very special place in your heart. Beep starts. Zuiji, then will I not be able to use this thing I defeated half of the Sect's brothers to obtain? You can still use it in the future, just keep it safe for now. Your childhood love cannot fight against fate, it's not unfair for you to lose this time. But on a different note, some of the prisoners that I've captured have already confessed. It was someone called Murong Shaolin who sent them to kill us. I wonder if young Master Shaolin is ready to receive the biggest repayment ever from the all-time sect?